For this, I want to know if Africa truly have leaders or followers. Because for this thing, I really still can't understand many problems here in Africa. In this case, I believe Africa don't have leaders, but we have followers. Do people really do even let me start from the political parties. Do the political parties really elect somebody to be voted for? And the type of person that they try to bring for people to vote for, are they really competent? Are they people with vision? Are they people who can take Africa to a level that will help? Or they will just check about their qualification, the degree that they have, or the kind of tribe that they are in? Or is it just their religious, or is it just their ethnicity or whatever? This one I really can't understand. Do we really believe when it comes to election? We truly, I don't think even the election we truly understand how to elect somebody to even rule us. If you checked all the leaders in Africa, when those that are saying they are practicing democracy and having election, if you check the type of people they elect, people with no vision, people don't even have any plan, people who don't have any plan to help develop Africa, but you always have people whom they will elect, and those people are people just to follow Western or Eastern, begging them for funding. Do we really even educate the people that even have to elect also those people, for them to understand what is being called leadership? Many people in Africa here and even my country Ghana don't even vote for somebody whom they believe is competent to. It's 100%, almost 70% of the people in, if even I'm trying, the percentage is even too much. 70%, let me say in Ghana, 70% in Ghana really voted not just because of the person's competency and what the person can do, but they voted just because of political party that the person is in. They voted just because of the political party the person is in. They voted just because of how handsome or ugly the person is. They voted just because of the tribe the person is coming from. 70%. It's only 30% that some I can say maybe they tried to think about the competency of the person. But most of the African countries that votes are also doing the same thing. So do we really educate those that have to elect our leaders? No, they are not. And even the leaders that we elect, do we really check what type of leader are they? Are they just followers, just with no vision, running out just for funding in different countries, seeking for help, whilst they have a lot of things that they can even generate in their own lands to help themselves? All the leaders I have seen in Africa here are beggars. They always beg for funding, and the sad part of it is the funding that the Western countries and the East countries also give to them are not being used to do things that they keep on, writing their proposals for. They use it for their own selfish interest. But one thing that I think they are more ignorant about is what they have to do with the funding to help develop the country so that the youth who have a lot of strength in this country, to help them be more skillful or more educated so that they can do their own thing, are not being they are not using the fund for. But remember, why do you think some of the politicians and some of leaders in Africa are being overthrown with gun? It's just because these strong and energetic youth have nothing to do. And how strong they are, they always use the kind of energy that they have fresh to do those kind of things, just to promote and destroy the progress of those various countries that you see wars and all sorts of revolutionary things that happens out there. When you are not using the resources the country have to develop, to invest in the youth, for them to have access to things that will help them, always get them busy to to use most of their energy. Remember, they will use the same energy to destabilize your country. That's why Africa is not being progressed. There's one sad part of it is mostly the World Banks and all the banks. Remember, in our West, the third world educational system, it was the World Bank who decide how we have to. And the kind of education that even we are in right now is the colonial type of education, where the 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 one that will graduate have to just be a supporting staff for the one who is creating. That means many people here in Africa, I can tell you almost 90% of the people here in Africa that sometimes completed our education, or our universities and all those kind of degree holders here, none of them can even create a toothpick. A toothpick that is being used with that is being produced through bamboo. They can't even create it. Why? Because they studied as a supporting staff. That's how the colonial masters were using our educational system to train people, just to be a supporting staff. Because the more you are more knowledgeable, and create and understand and know your right 100%, you take over from them. So they were training many people as a supporting staff. And this, even now that we call ourselves sovereign countries, sovereign nations, I don't think many people even really understand the word sovereignty, whilst you are still being under countries who rules you, like the powerful countries like the United States, Britain, France, and all countries that sometimes dictate for most of African countries. That means you are not sovereign. You are not a sovereign nation. You are still under the new type of colonialism. You are going there to seek for money to take care of your country. They are still ruling you. They gives you their rules and regulations. They gives you the types of laws that you need to use. In this case, even if the money, that the rules and all the regulations, the monies and all those kind of things that are being given to them, the poor leaders whom even don't have any vision, and with their selfish interest share this money and still leave this kind of youth for them to suffer. One sad part of this institution in Western and Asia is they don't even fund most of the private institutions that really can have access to the people on the ground to help them being educated. Or is it just because those people also supported the leaders not for Africa to develop, or various countries in Africa to develop, so that our natural resources can be taken for free? This I really don't understand. If there have to be a clear understanding, then there have to be something that have to be done clearly for everybody to see and understand it well. Whoever People that sometimes are under all the wars that happens in Africa, sometimes it's not really mostly the Africans, but people who, with their selfish interests, also funding those who start the war just to take our natural resources for free. This is sad. And the same people, they are like a mouse that bites you, and after biting you, find where he bitten. It bites you and find where it's bitten, so that you not see the pains, you not hear feel the pains. In this case, most of African countries can even, if we did not move and turn our mind from this kind of dirty colonial rule to decide for ourselves, to vote for proper leaders who have vision, leaders who are ready to sacrifice themselves to do the right thing. It being member of parliament who have to sometimes be in it for. Sometimes when you hear politicians talking on radio and TVs, I wonder, are these people really have even vision, or are they just reading? I think because most of our educational institutes even don't have a syllabus, because it's more supporting staff, and they are not being creative. Some of even our ministers, our member of parliament who call themselves with all technocrats and the degrees they have, when they are talking, you can 100% sense what they are saying is more copy and paste, copying it from books that they studied in the universities, the same thing that they are dumping. And whoever that is not an author of a book can never ever make 100% confirmation of what the book means. You may read and understand it in your own way and paste the same thing, but that is not, it may not be the meaning of what the author means. So why can't we write our own books? Why can't we think and plan and create something good for our countries, to help our countries to progress, but still allowing selfish leaders and selfish donors whom with their own interests want to make the leaders also happy so that they can have access to some of the things here in Africa for free. I think we need to be very, very wise. This generation, the youth of Africa, we have to be very, very wise and find a way to help this African continent, not with war, not with gun. Revolution can never ever even help. But we individually in our various countries have to start to do something serious for ourselves. Hold our leaders accountable. People that we elect, we have to be fair. If they did wrong thing, we have to tell them. Our political system have been, when I'm on your side, any bad thing that they will be doing, we still support them. It's because many people don't even understand what we call election. So they elect and still support when they are messing up, and still want to see those people mess those countries till their time ends. You have to hold them accountable. You have to find a better way of amending our education so that we can have people to be more creative. And sad part of it is those that you can see even more creative even can't have the help from people to fund for whatever they know. In this case, many talented young men can't even come out with the great things that they have. It's because the politicians have their own agenda by sharing most of the fundings they have among themselves, but not the right people who needed it. The youth of Africa, it is time for you to start building your own corner where you are. You have to arise at your own corner where you are and shine. And as we do it individually and start holding our leaders accountable, making sure whoever that is not doing the right thing, we point to them right without lying. After all, people that speak the truth are always people that are being hated, and they don't like people who speak the truth. They always like people who lie to them and say that the bad things you did is good. When it's red, they will say it's black. The youth of Africa who are reasonable, if you are reasonable, you don't need to do that. When it's black, it's black. When it's red, it's red. When it's white, it's white. Now, when you checked about the Ghana politics, most of the people in university, boys, young men that have to, come out to bring something good, are people who are now following political parties just to insult on radio and TV. And whilst they are insulting and creating all kind of, tension with how to talk, they sometimes got position in the various political parties, which is very funny. And because they have realized that when you join the political parties, within a year or three, when you are in power, you are going to make a lot of money. Majority of the youth are now joining political parties and making a lot of noise just to be seen and have the chance also for them to come to power and grab those kind of money that are being disbursed. Is this how we want our continent, our countries to grow? This is very, very bad. So I see a lot of dangers, how Africa is falling, how countries are falling, how politicians keep on lying that everything is well, everything is going on well, but we still can't experience it. People are hustling. The youth are wasting a lot of energy. You can see most of African youth being useless with their energy and the talent they have, because nobody is supporting them. Now, you create the opportunities ourselves. We are not going to seek for any devilish loans that will decide our destiny, how we have to be. We need to start to suffer now, to use our natural resources well, so that when the good time comes, we will all enjoy it. None of the leaders are ready to suffer that. All they want to do is just to please the people by just signing up more loans, which is taking most of the countries back and taking our natural resources for free, just because of ignorance. We vote people, the people that are voting even don't understand voting, and elect dirty leaders. And the leaders that are being voted also are visionless. They have no vision. In this case, Africa is still where it is, and even it's have started declining instead of Africa going back. We need to start something. I'm just trying to help you to understand. If you are youth, start doing something. Don't allow where you are. Don't allow the situation that you are in. Don't allow the leaders that you have to kill your spirit. Start doing something for yourself and you make it. Enjoy your day and enjoy the kind of lovely African that we are in. And don't allow anybody to deceive you, to destabilize your country with war. We need to help our countries to develop. Let's all share ideas. If the politicians are not going to give you the fundings, you do it our own way by hustling. We know we will still make it. If the donors in the Western and Eastern countries are not going to give us the funding, we will still do it. But our natural resources will be used carefully to make our own money ourselves. God be with you and guide you. In Jesus' name, amen.